Hello folks, it's 10 to midday on Monday the 17th of February 2014. And at the end of the day, I'm an astrologer. What I do is I look at patterns. It's pattern recognition. I see patterns in people's horoscopes that repeat every so often in certain cycles. I see patterns in the sky that when they connect with certain other patterns create some type of stimulus that manifests through cause and effect as event and circumstance in individuals' lives. And it's fascinating to watch. And the pattern that we've got coming up with the Grand Cross, well, because we're still in a Mercury retrograde, there's no way I can talk about it objectively because the information just isn't there. There's no sense of clarity yet. There's still an element of confusion. But Mercury has moved back out of Pisces into Aquarius, so we're starting to see some type of shape and form begin to come through the mist, I think. And still I can only talk about the Grand Cross in terms of metaphor and analogy. But on the one hand, I want to revisit one that I've used with clients a lot over the last few years to describe Uranus-Pluto. I've kept dormant for 3 or 4 months, and I think I'm going to start bringing it back now. And it's about the metaphor of the individual being out at sea with the water up to their waist and the waves coming up to their chest, and having great fun with this little surfboard, surfing these 2-foot-high waves. And then out to sea comes this 40-foot tsunami. And you look at it and you think, oh my God, what am I going to do? And if you run, then the tsunami is going to pick you up and it's going to turn you upside down, inside out, back to front. It's going to smash you to pieces. If you stand still, it's going to suck the sand from underneath your feet and again consume you. All you can do is get your surfboard and go out and surf that wave of change. Now, I've been saying this to people for years, but now we're coming to the Grand Cross, which in many ways is bringing a culmination to the Uranus-Pluto square so far over the last 4 years. And everyone whom in the last 4 years has been through a combination of Pluto, Uranus, and more recently Jupiter is, well, it's kind of endgame for a lot of situations. A lot of doors are going to be closing. At the same time, a lot of new doors are going to be opening, which is why you need to be on the cutting edge, particularly as you get into early April, and surfing that wave because it's going to cut through all the crap. And there's big new futures imminent here. Another metaphor and analogy, which I've been using much more recently, only in the last week or 3, really. And a big thank you to those people in Leominster who braved the floods to come out, and thank you. Hope you're all happy with what you got. In the last few weeks or week or 3, I've been using this analogy a lot to 30 to 40% of people saying, look, you're in theatre, right? There's ongoing surgery, but with many, many people, I'm seeing the period just since the first week of January to now as being the actual incision and the removal and the adjustments going on. And for some people now, I'm starting to see the sort of piecing together happening and the stitches starting to go in. With other people, I've been saying, look, you're out of surgery, but you're into post-op. And in many cases, this post-op situation is going to last until at least the 2nd week of March, whilst Mercury is retrograde. There's a few people I'm saying, look, you're at the end of it, or you will be by the end of March. These are the people who are getting it in advance. And by the start of April, they're going to be out of post-op and into recovery and potentially walking again, just as they'll be needed to start picking up people who are going to be getting clobbered in April. There's going to be a bit of a damage limitation exercise over the coming few months. And anyone whom over the last few years has felt the influence of the outer planetary movements in a year-by-year way is going to come to some type of culmination at the Grand Cross, some type of permanent closure which will be as good, as positive as it will be as challenging, depending on your own attitude and your willingness to adjust to ever-changing circumstances. The wave of change that's running through that's propagating the evolutionary urge at the moment, and the need for change in the most fundamental of systems of human organization is not slowing down. Thing is, once we're into May and we're past the Grand Cross this year, that urge is going to be developing in individuals' lives much more than in global. And I can't wait. Catch you later. Bye.